evening.
FHEBadMormons.
I'm Mandy.
I'm Charlotte.
And we are sisters who decided to make a podcast during the coronavirus pandemic.
For your listening pleasure.
And here we are, 81 episodes later.
Dang, girl.
No. And the fucking pandemic's still going on.
Never gonna end.
81 episodes later. So anyway, cheers.
Cheers.
We're still alive.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. What are we drinking here today?
Some barefoot bubbly champagne. It's not the best.
It's not good. No.
It's not the worst. We did have a 6-bottle sampling. Costco. Fill in the blank yesterday with champagne, or one was champagne, the rest were sparkling wines and a Prosecco. None of them were that great.
Yeah.
The rosé was okay.
It's the second time we've been burned by a Costco sampler pack of alcohol.
Their
Advent calendar?
Advent calendar was not good. Plus, also a lot of white wine. It's winter time. It's cold. I don't want to drink white wine.
Duh.
Idiots.
Anyway, so yeah, we're drinking Barefoot Bubbly. I've got a little side taster of my favorite Kohana Hawaiian rum.
Ooh.
With some honey and some cacao, and it's so delicious.
Numbers. I'm not drinking that much because I have to drive later. I have things to do. I'm an important person.
I'm a business owner. I'm a girl boss.
I'm a girl boss. Although for those who have never done it, take time for yourself. Get a hotel room and get all the shit that you need to get done. Because every time you want to start, I don't know, playing Lego Tower, you'll be like, wait, I'm paying how much to be in this hotel room? Get the shit done.
I hope that this plan works out for you, Charlotte.
Me too, because God knows my website needs help.
Let's see. Let's give a quick shout out to our patrons.
Hi, patrons.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for all that you do, and I hope you had the best Christmas and happy start to Kwanzaa.
Is Kwanzaa starting?
Starts today. So today is Sunday. This will be released tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening to our podcast.
You make us better people.
Worse people?
Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
We're going to be whatever you want. Like, what's her name? Julia Roberts and Pretty Woman.
Wait, what?
I don't know. It just got weird.
It's just about to get a lot weirder.
Do you have anything to repent for this week?
Just my very existence, but no, I mean, what did we talk about last week?
I was scrolling through Twitter this morning and I was like, you know what? I'm going to repent for all of this time continuing to use the words Fox and News together in a sentence. It shouldn't be called Fox News. It should be called Fox Entertainment.
It's a fact because they're not really news.
So I apologize for that. I repent. It will never happen again. Henceforth and forevermore, ye shall be known, lo and behold, as Fox Entertainment. Because somebody tweeted that and I was like, you know what?
They're right.
Genius. So for Mormon Corner today, I thought maybe it might be nice to give the Mormons a little break. Maybe we could pick on some other weird religions because we're really not anti-Mormon. We're really very anti-organized religion.
Very true.
Be spiritual, do your thing, but
just don't, repress other people.
Yeah. When it comes to fucking over other people, which most organized religions in some form or fashion do, that's when we're out. We bounce. We're like, go fuck yourself.
Right?
So I started looking up lists of weird other religions, and there's a lot of weird shit out there. But I came up with this list that says 8 bizarre things you might not know about Christianity.
Ooh.
Which is, same kind of vein as Mormon, I guess.
It's a Christian religion.
Number 1, the depiction of magic mushrooms in early Christian iconography. Magic mushrooms, picture of Jesus. I didn't know that.
It's how you get closer to Jesus.
The Vatican's fig leaf campaign. During the Counter-Reformation period, the Roman Catholic Church came into power, and that was the start of the early Renaissance censorship acts. Painters like Michelangelo were condemned for portraying penises.
Oh, God.
And they needed to have the fig leaf put over them. That's the Vatican.
Oh, fucking faggot. Oh, my God. Did I almost just say faggot? I'm not sure what's happening.
You're recording a podcast, Charlotte. Come on. The Obscene Marginalia of Medieval Books. I'm going to have to copy this one and put it on the social media because there's a picture of an ogre shooting an arrow into another creature's anus.
What the fuck?
I don't know. Christians. It says, during the era before the printing press, scribes were tasked with painstakingly copying page after page of manuscripts for their patrons. In order to make their task interesting, they might have filled the empty spaces of text with grotesque marginalia, including penis monsters, butts, poop, and a lot of ventral animals.
I'm not sure what's happening or what the Vatican's fascination with penises are, but I think I know.
Yeah, I don't know. There's, I don't even know how to pronounce this. Sheila Na Gigs, which is, here, look at this picture. It's like a weird little monster with opening its vagina. It's like a statue that's carved. Erotic stone carvings of female figures found on the walls of Roman churches. A grotesque-looking woman pulling apart her vulva is a fairly strange thing to find in the church. The fascinating story of sin eaters. So sin eating was practiced in the 18th and early 19th centuries in parts of England, Wales, and Scotland. A sin eater was a person who consumed a piece of bread and ale placed on the chest of the deceased. It was believed that this practice would release the sins of the dead person.
What?
Gradually, the church condemned this practice, and the sin eaters were outcast from society.
That's how you get things like leprosy.
Yeah, eating food off of a corpse. Let's see. Ugly paintings of baby Jesus. Have you ever wondered why the babies of the Renaissance period have strong male features, muscular bodies, and baldness? Here's some pictures for you. As the church influenced the cultural aspects of society, they literally wanted him to look like baby Jesus. A little man, almost like a homunculus. The homuncular, adult-looking baby Jesus became the set standard for all artists. And they did not really care about the aesthetics of naturalism.
That's weird.
That is weird. Christianity's all weird. And then lastly, the profane burial practices of the suicides. As we progressed in the late medieval world, suicide was considered a sin and a crime against God. In the 18th and 19th centuries, England observed more prominent cases of bizarre burial rituals. The corpse of the suicide victim was dragged through the streets, buried at the crossroads by the light of a moon, and a dagger was staked through their hearts. According to folklorists and historians, crossroads were chosen to confuse the spirit of the restless victim. Oh, I accidentally hit play on the whatever video that was. The obscene whatever. The choice of the four paths would not allow the spirit to come out until dawn, as the ghosts of the suicide deaths were considered susceptible to demonic control. So, yeah.
So weird. Christianity's fucking weird, and good luck with that, Christians, because it's just not right.
Religion's just fucking weird.
Right, just be a good person. I'm sure you'll be fine.
It's getting weirder and weirder as we go along, too.
Right?
I don't know.
What was it? I was reading somebody's tweet that just said, we had the land, they had the Bible. They told us to pray. We closed our eyes and prayed. We opened our eyes, they had the land, and we had the Bible. And it was just like, it's all just charlatans trying to steal your shit. That's all religion is. Mm-hmm. And they've done a really good job of it.
Yeah, they have. I wonder why people are so susceptible to that.
Because nobody likes the thought of being worm food when you're dead. Like, there's got to be something else out there, you know.
Yeah, but why does that all... You can still figure that out and not have to give all your money to one person.
Well, they think that's what's going to get you into heaven.
But why?
Because they told you you're going to go to hell if you don't give them your money.
Why are people so fucking stupid, Charlotte?
Because they are.
All right.
Because they didn't do enough magic mushrooms to figure out that maybe people are inherently terrible.
And it was right there in front of their eyes. Jesus and the magic mushrooms. Right there.
Well, that's why they got rid of it, because they didn't want to be like, oh, shit, people might figure this out.
Where am I going to get my free money?
Right. I mean, Joel Osteen's got, thousands of dollars in behind a toilet somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And, private jets and just...
The Mormon church has billions.
Right?
Yeah.
They own everything. Didn't the Vatican own, most of Mission Viejo where we grew up? I mean, what the fuck?
Right. Let's move on to cool shit.
Okay.
Did you hear about Alex Jones's wife?
I perused over something on Twitter.
Yeah, so on Christmas Eve, she was arrested.
Oh.
Because for domestic violence. I guess they live just outside of Austin.
Okay.
They won't say what it was about. All Alex Jones said was that a family member was injured, and he and his wife have a child together. He said this is a private family matter and asked for some privacy at this time. So when it's his family,
right,
privacy is okay. But when it's anybody else's family, it's completely up for...
Right, it's off limit, or nothing's off limits.
Right.
Yeah, I saw that he'd said that he thinks has a mismanagement of her medication or some shit like that, right?
Yeah, he said it appears to be some kind of medication imbalance. I love my wife and care about her. Also, when I was reading this article too, they just happened to put in a little thing at the end that says, "Oh, by the way, they each got one another busted for drunk driving."
Oh, good.
Apparently they have
on Christmas?
No, just randomly calling the
Okay.
cops on each other.
Oh, nice.
They have a very contentious relationship, apparently. But I thought that was cool. And then when we were doing our, our annual Christmas call with our mom the other day, she was mentioning to us, "Oh, you got to buy silver. You got to buy silver. The stock price of silver is going to be crazy." Anyways, a bunch of stuff about how we need to invest all of our money in silver, and that's going to give us generational wealth. And we were kind of like, yeah, okay, Mom, whatever. You've been obsessed with silver our whole lives,
right?
And then as I'm looking through here and looking on Twitter for Alex Jones shit, I don't know why I don't usually click on articles, but it was him speaking. And it was him basically saying verbatim everything that she told us about silver. And I was like, oh, that's where she got it.
Right.
She loves Alex Jones.
She has InfoWar toothpaste. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I tagged you in it.
Totally sane.
Anyway, Alex Jones. I have two other things for cool shit. The Webb telescope was launched into space yesterday on Christmas Day. Have you heard about the Webb? So it's a 13,000-pound telescope. It's the successor to the Hubble.
Okay.
And it's so huge and massive that it has to be folded like origami style to fit into the rocket that launched it into space. And then once it gets, it's in space now, it unfolds and it's got this all this crazy technology. But basically it's supposed to be able to see very slight infrared light and be able to look into the origins of the universe.
Oh.
And it's got this crazy coating to keep it cool from the sun, but it's just this. It's groundbreaking tech.
Oh, that's exciting.
So yeah, I was pretty stoked about that.
It's end of days.
Well, wouldn't it be cool to figure out, what kind of questions could be answered if you could start to see that far
right
to the beginning of the universe?
That'd be crazy.
Science.
I don't know why Event Horizon just popped into my head. I don't know if we unlocking something scary here.
That'd be funny. And we're all dead.
Right? It's oh, now we died.
Okay, I have one more thing. Do you have anything for cool shit?
We watched a new show called Station 11.
Oh, yeah.
And I like it. I went to bed thinking about it, and I was like, do I want to Google what it's about, or do I want to just finish the series first, or this season? Because I think it's on HBO, so we watched about six or seven episodes last night, and hopefully maybe there'll be another released episode tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's pretty much about this flu that goes through and pretty much wipes out majority of the population, and then it jumps back and forth between present to future to past, and And yeah, it's a little wicked confusing at first, but then things kind of start falling into place.
Yeah, I really liked it too. I was surprised.
I'd give it at least 5 episodes, because if you only watch 2 or 3, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, that's a good one. I wanted to tell you, in case you haven't heard yet, did you read anything about Trump advocating for people to get the vaccine? Like, pretty much the whole Republican Party is just splintering, fracturing into all these different whatevers because their leader has, like, deceived them.
Right.
According to so many tweets.
No, he sold out to Big Pharma. Something like that, because he's like, the people who are dying are the ones that aren't vaccinated, so go get vaccinated. Now everyone's like, traitor!
Well, so he went on Candace Owens. She's a Republican conservative talk show host from, I think she's on Fox Entertainment. But she was asking him questions about it, and he wasn't giving her the answers she wanted, and she was getting visibly, like, agitated with him and trying to, like, dig. And I didn't actually watch the thing. I'm just paraphrasing what I've read. But apparently he was just, not going for it. And he was like, yeah, I got boosted. Everyone should get it. Like, it kind of seems like maybe he realizes that his base is dying.
Right.
And that maybe wasn't the best political strategy.
Right. Kill off your base. It's a great idea.
But the funniest part about it, when you really get down to it, so 4 days ago, President Biden gave a speech. And he credited Trump, the Trump administration, with pioneering the vaccine and their efforts to develop it, and what a great job the Trump administration had done for developing this vaccine.
Oh God, of course.
I know. It's just so obvious, right? Like, of course Trump's going to take that bait and run with it. How could he not take something? Somebody said something nice about him.
Right.
How could he not take it? And then his whole fucking party, just their heads exploded with like, oh, what the fuck?
Imagine an alternate universe where we all praised Trump for doing the things we wanted him to do, and then he actually would have gotten some shit done.
Right? Well, I mean, Biden just fucking did it.
Right. No, I mean, it just, because I think we may have talked about it, or we've read it somewhere where it's like somebody said, no, we're going about it all wrong. We're supposed to just inflate his ego even more, but then be like, social programs, be like, we are just so proud of all the work he's doing for all of us in need. Then maybe he would have actually helped out people in need.
Yeah, I thought it was just so genius.
Yeah, it's really good. Well done, Biden.
Apparently, so a video was released of Trump being booed by a crowd when he had, discussed that he'd received his booster shot at this event with Bill O'Reilly. And according to the video, that was tweeted by Bill O'Reilly's No Spin News. I don't know what that is. But the former Fox Entertainment host said, both the president and I are vaxxed, and then asked Trump, did you get the booster? Yes, Trump said to a smattering of boos in the audience. And Trump says, don't, appearing to try to quiet the boos. That's all right. It's a very tiny group over there. To the people who are booing him. Let's see. The former president's disclosure is a shift from his past stance. Trump previously said in a Wall Street Journal interview published in September that he was unlikely to get the booster shot, saying he felt like he was in good shape from that standpoint and probably won't get the booster. I'll look at stuff later on. I'm not against it, but it's probably not for me. And then,
Right.
Anyway.
I love it.
Let's see. There was something else that was funny that he said that was just a direct correlation to being praised for championing it. Oh, he says, look, we did something historic. We saved tens of millions of lives worldwide. We, together, all of us. Not me, said Trump in the video. Trump went on to say that COVID-19 was going to ravage the country far beyond what it is right now if the vaccines had not been developed. But the former president also criticized vaccine mandates. So he's just
all over
playing both sides of the fence. But anyway, that really made me smile. And I was like, good job, Biden team.
Right?
Way to fucking be awesome.
Well done. That's awesome.
Yeah. That definitely belongs in cool shit.
Right.
Now, what's the opposite of
motherfucker?
There actually is not a whole lot going on this week. It seems to be mostly good news.
That's good. That's a shift.
I know, right? Generally, it's the other way around. I did find one article several articles about Texas, public libraries in Texas. Have you heard about this?
I heard that they're shutting down because librarians, but I couldn't get past.
Yeah, well, they're shutting down so that they can comb through the books and ban the books that they don't want in the libraries.
Fucking Texas.
Yeah, what it comes down to, essentially, they're saying, we want to make sure that there's nothing inappropriate for children, and that young adult and young adult plus and children's are, put in the right categories or whatever. But when you read through, what it's really coming down to is like race stuff, race theory, gender identity, that kind of stuff.
Know.
So they're trying to basically...
Getting rid of To Kill a Mockingbird again?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's probably more current stuff than that.
Right.
But anything that has to do with anything that, anything to do with race, gender, or sexuality is pretty much going to be thrown out of a public library.
Wow.
And this is in one particular county in Llano, Texas. Yeah, so this says, a Texas public library on Tuesday closed its doors temporarily to allow for a small group of librarians to conduct a thorough review of children's books, weeding out titles considered inappropriate for young readers. The court on December 13th voted unanimously to suspend access to the library's electronic book collection until further notice. So somebody from the library board or whatever says, I think we owe it to all parents, regardless if it's a school library or a public library, to make sure that material is not appropriate for children. I don't think that's quoted correctly. I don't think that's what they meant to say. To make sure that material is not inappropriate for children. Sorry. This is the first of multiple changes to the county library system, and there are plans in motion to develop a library advisory board to deal with an influx of requests to reevaluate books in circulation. So yeah, it started with
Footloose all over.
Yeah,
again.
it started with public schools, and now it's public libraries. So fucking Texas.
Way to go, Texas.
Keep sucking.
Right.
There was a few other things too regarding Texas about the abortion ban, and the Supreme Court essentially said that the ban was still in place, but people were allowed to challenge it in court. So that was the last thing, was like whether or not people were even going to be able to challenge it. The Supreme Court benevolently decided that people would be allowed to contest that decision. I know, right? It's so frustrating.
Oh, I can't. I don't understand how people could be so stupid.
Term limits.
And, I mean, for everybody. We've already talked about just, they're never going to vote to lose their jobs, but I swear to God, anybody who holds public office should have a term limit.
Totally.
And they shouldn't be able to make laws that can benefit themselves. They can only make whatever the median household income is for the county or state that they're representing. And then when they're, because one, they won't want to stay there forever because they can't make that much money. And then two, if you put laws in place that they can't work, they can't do anything with the stock market while they're there, because again, they'd be benefiting themselves, Nancy Pelosi.
Right.
I don't see how any of this is legal or okay. Wasn't there something about Marjorie? And I'm not telling her full name.
I was going to say, speaking of public office,
right.
Marjorie and toenail grease. She was in a few people's tweets over the weekend as well, because she's if you listen to our show, you know our hatred for MTG. But she's like the original QAnon conspiracy theorist, vile troll of a human being. Anyways, she's been vehemently against getting vaccinated, not just saying like, oh, it's not for me, or do it if you want to do it. I'm against the mandates. She's like against the vaccine and making it, very clear to anybody who looks to her for guidance that they shouldn't do it. Meanwhile, her stock portfolio was released, and it's very heavily relies on big pharma for generating income, which is, obviously the makers of the vaccine. So she's benefiting hugely from the vaccine while publicly, besmirching it or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
She also owns a lot of stock in Disney.
Ew.
I know. Which made me think of this. Have you heard about that lawsuit that's happening? This woman in the Bay Area, she's suing Disney for $5 million.
Okay.
Because she got the annual pass, the Dream Key, which is the same one that we got. And she's saying that, you know, it was saying that if you got this highest tier one, there were supposed to be no blackout dates. And it's all blacked out.
Right.
It's been blacked out for months. You can't even get a ticket. So she's suing them. And apparently that happened last week.
How does that warrant $5 million? Wouldn't she just sue for her pass amount? Like,
I'm sure there's some sort
damages.
of yeah. I don't know what. But I'll tell you what, in the last week, whenever I went to make a reservation to the park, it's wide open.
Really?
Yep.
Well, good.
So,
I mean, it is kind of bullshit. You spend all this money and you can't go, even if you plan it in advance. You know,
right.
It's like, I think I looked as like, I can't get anything for months.
Yeah.
Which, again, what's the point of spending all this money if you can go 6 times in a year?
Right. You might as well just get single day tickets.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway. That just popped into my head with seeing that she owns stock in that too.
Right. What a kizant.
Yeah.
Also, I saw that video of her talking to the crowd at January 6th. That was interesting.
Yeah.
You were the one who showed it to me, but yeah, she was pretty much just spouting like, you know, Nancy Pelosi is treasonous, and you know that's punishable by death. Like the shit I don't know how she's not in fucking jail.
Yeah, she was publicly calling for the death of Nancy Pelosi on camera, inciting the rioters, and yeah, nothing.
Yeah,
no
vigilante justice for treason. Cunt.
Total cunt. I hate her so much. She's like so awful.
Which is why it's like it's been almost a year now, and it's like, how are some of these people not in jail?
I know. It's crazy. Oh, here's another thing for this motherfucker. This guy ordered off of Amazon, a passport holder, vaccine card holder kind of thing. It's like a little booklet, you know, to hold your stuff in.
Right.
It arrived with a fake COVID vaccine card in it.
Oh, wow.
And apparently it was like some way it was like designed to beat the algorithm, according to Amazon, of course.
Right.
Designed to beat the algorithm, so it didn't actually like list that there was a fake vaccine card in there. So this guy obviously like reported it. Amazon's now shut the site down. But yeah, I was just like, what the
wow,
fuck?
I'm not surprised.
And Amazon's like hugely known for like fencing stolen shit.
Right.
Which is, I think I might have mentioned this on the podcast before, but fencing stolen shit from their own companies.
Right.
Like, you know,
Whole Foods, for instance, they steal the wine from there and then go and turn around.
Right. Or, you know, CVS or, you know,
right.
like this retail theft is a huge, huge operation. And there's a lot of professional thieves out there that know exactly what they're doing, what to look for. They come in and wipe it all out, and then they turn around and sell it on Amazon, which is so crazy to me. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation.
Right.
But yeah, get your fake vaccine cards on Amazon, apparently.
And then there's also the last thing. A man in Oregon, I guess President Biden was doing like phone calls or whatever, like wishing kids a Merry Christmas.
It was the Santa tracker, the North Pole Santa tracker.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
It's like you're tracking where Santa is
okay.
at the moment, and kids call in. It's like a kid thing.
And so why was he answering the phone?
Well, his kid called in.
So this guy in Oregon, his kid called in, and why was Biden on the end of it is what I don't quite understand.
Well, but President Biden and his wife were hosting the call. So he's the president of the United States, so he's like got a direct line to Santa.
Got it.
So the kids would call in and they'd be like, oh, Santa's this or that or whatever. I don't know exactly what the point is, but it's something like that.
Right. And then this motherfucker
was like,
let's go, Brandon, or whatever.
Yeah, took the phone from the kid.
Right. And then I guess Biden just said, like, something I agree. Or he said something because he wasn't going to make a big deal out of it. Because what are you going to do? And then people are like, oh, he's senile. He doesn't get what the Brandon thing is. And it's like, oh, my God, you people are just so fucking stupid. Well, I just saw that he's now saying that, you know, he's being harassed because he exercised his First Amendment right of free speech. And it's like, your free speech doesn't shield you from your consequences of what you say. Like,
yeah, you can take the phone out of your kid's hand and ruin Santa Claus and Christmas for them for the rest of their life just in order to get a jab in, but that doesn't mean that the rest of us can't call you a fucking asshole for doing it.
Right. and that maybe you shouldn't have children. No, I'm just kidding. But you probably shouldn't. But yeah, so I like that he's feeling victimized now. It's oh, boo-hoo.
Yeah. Hey, on our way out to hear a word from our sponsors, I was reading there's a ton of great memes going around on Twitter about Let's Go Brandon. It's trending. And one of my favorite ones I've found so far from the Emma is Let's Go Brandon is code for I'm an ignorant, gullible hick who can't get over my con man's loss, and I need a new way to show the nation just how stupid I am. So that's what I'm going to think of every time I hear, Let's Go Brandon.
Right? And there was another one from Sherry on our Facebook that pretty much said, Brandon, it broke it down. B, like building bread or roads.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I won't go through all of them. You can go on our Facebook and read it. But I'm like, yes, that's a good one.
What a fucking stupid, like...
Just people are stupid. It's like, that's the best they can do because they got nothing.
Yeah. Let them have it. Anyway, let's hear a word from our sponsors.
Fabulous. Hi, welcome back.
Welcome back to the show. You came back.
Are you ready for some stories?
You keep coming back and you keep coming back and we got stories for you every single time.
Well, most times.
Okay, I'm going to start because I got an email from a listener with a story that I thought was pretty funny. So I'm going to read you this one, okay?
Fabulous.
It starts out, not my story, but my friend's. My friend was very drunk at a fake fancy wannabe club, in quotation marks, inside of a warehouse in San Francisco, and he decided he wanted to become more drunk than he already was, which was a considerable amount. So he headed for the bar, but tripped over his own feet and stumbled several times. This was immediately spotted by a bouncer, and he was quickly removed from the bar/club. He's walking like a toddler down the street and makes it about half a block before he decides he's going to puke. Still within sight of the club, by the way. He holds up his hand over his mouth to stop himself from spewing, but instead it explodes all over his hand back onto himself before he bends over and throws up in a low-lying hedge. He straightens up and wipes his mouth and gets ready for the drunken stumble home. This plan was immediately sidelined when a girl who'd been kicked out of the same club earlier walks towards him and grabs his vomit-covered hand and drags him back towards the club.
Oh.
In an attempt to convince the bouncers they were just a happy couple going out for a drink. They walk vomit-covered hand in hand up to the bouncers and confidently attempt to walk in. Nobody is sure why the girl was kicked out, but it must have been something good because she was immediately surrounded by several bouncers at the door. And during the commotion, my friend just breezes past everyone and goes right back into the bar and orders shots. Ready for round 2. This guy's a fucking legend.
Yeah, never try to keep your vomit in your mouth or with your hand. It doesn't ever work.
Well, that's what it reminded me of. Have we told that story about?
I don't know, but I'm going to tell it again. We're going to Grandma's funeral, I think.
Yeah.
And because it was so last minute, the cheapest flight that our sister could find from Washington was to fly to Las Vegas. So me and Mandy drove that night, stayed at Whiskey Pete's, and then picked up our sister at the airport. And she just had a migraine. She wasn't feeling well, and I had a Tylenol. And she's like, "Well, Tylenols normally make me sick, but I think if I eat something, I should be okay." So she eats a Butterfinger, and,
that fucking goddamn Butterfinger.
And then she takes the Advil or the Tylenol, and we were at a gas station. We had stopped to get gas and to get some snacks, and she's just like, "I'm like, well, if you're not feeling well, you should just go puke." And she's just like, "Oh, no, I'll be fine." And then she gets up and goes to the bathroom. I'm like, okay, good. She's going to go vomit. Get it out of your system. She comes back, and I was like, how are you? She's like, nothing came out. And I was like, well, okay, then maybe you don't need to puke. We get in the car. We drive maybe 3 minutes.
2.5 minutes.
And
out in the desert. Nothing around.
I'm going about 85 miles an hour. It's what you do. And then Tiffany's like, you need to pull over. So I am pulling over, but I'm going 85. I can't just pull over. I have to slow down a little bit. Anyways, next thing I know, her hand's over her mouth and vomit is coming out everywhere. It was liquid, to be fair, so it's not like it was chunks, which I don't know if that'd be better or worse.
Yeah, it's out the sides, coming over the back of her head. It's like
she's got on the top roof of my ceiling.
She's facing forward in the front passenger seat, and I'm in the back seat behind you guys, and it's flying backwards towards me because her hand is over her mouth, like creating a shield to just direct it all back towards me.
I also want to point out my car was new. It still had that new car smell.
That was the last time it had that new car smell.
I don't want to go into details on what it took to clean it up. All I know is I was then on the side of the road puking. Both me and Tiffany are on the side of the road puking. I wonder what cars had to think was happening. Mandy, meanwhile, is trying to clean it up.
We're undressing Tiffany on the side.
We had a bunch of clothes we were going to give to our mother, so like we at least had a bunch of extra clothes.
That's true.
Oh God, it was so gross. My cup holder was just filled with vomit.
When we were discussing what stories we should tell you guys, because we have a lot of vomit stories, I'm like, really, Charlotte, should we tell every vomit story we have in the same episode?
Yes.
Don't you think that's going to turn people off? And I'm looking at her trying to tell the story, and I can tell she wants to puke just remembering.
Just hated it so much. It's so gross.
She wanted to puke before. Yeah, so everyone's puking on the side of the road. I want to puke too, but I can't because somebody has to be in charge of this circus.
At least when I puked, I got out of the car, is my point. Oh, good God.
I don't know why. That story actually reminded me of a funny one that I wanted to tell, but I couldn't, it's not quite long enough of a story to be a story on its own, but I think it might kind of fit in with this one. It's a buffet story, which is the loose connection to vomiting.
The vomitorium?
Yeah. We're when we were young and poor, we used to have a fascination with, all you can eat pasta bowl at Olive Garden, any sort of buffet situation, just getting as much food as we could get in. Because it's free and you can't turn away free food.
Right?
There's this story of us. This was, I think this was before you had moved to Bellingham, Charlotte. But it was definitely Courtney and I and Tiffany and our friend Matt and a bunch of other people. And basically, when we were in our early 20s, very poor, didn't have a whole lot of money. And there wasn't a whole lot going on as far as like entertainment that we could afford in Bellingham, Washington. So we used to get very creative with ways to, entertain ourselves. Like, whenever somebody would be protesting, like the fags go to hell people that would go up on campus with their big signs and be just protesting people existing, right. I guess. People existing as gay. We would make counter-protest signs and go stand next to them just for fun. Like,
my favorite is Courtney's one that just says, "This guy smells like gin."
Yeah. It was classic. It was like fags burn in hell. Yeah, Courtney's was great. So we would do shit like that. We would, there was this place at the mall that we worked at, the Bellis Fair Mall, called the Old Country Buffet. If you're not familiar, it's very like trash ball, gross Denny's style food.
My ex-fiance worked there.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, so you were there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I was there for this, but I just remember getting a ride from him one time, and I just hear this clink, clink, clink when he'd turn. I'm like, James, what the fuck is going on? And he's just like, oh, that's just my work vodka.
Oh, yeah, under the seat.
Under the seat. And I was like,
scar.
You have work vodka. Okay, great. I know now why we broke up.
Red flag. Red flag.
I was like, I don't have to deal with this. I gotta go.
Well, so you might have been here for this story then that I'm going to tell about the Old Country Buffet, but we decided we were going to get dressed up and go get lunch / dinner at the Old Country Buffet at the mall. And by get dressed up, we dressed up in the most white, trashiest outfits we could possibly find. Not just like, Budweiser hats and, Carhartt overalls, but like... Tiffany was wearing some camouflage overalls with a pillow stuffed in to make it look like she was pregnant with her like black eye, with her makeup she does, with a tooth blacked out.
Yes. Tiffany's the best.
I can't. That's the one that sticks out the most in my memory. But it was those types of outfits, right?
Right.
And then for nothing more than just to go to dinner, but we were like just bored. So
well, yeah. I mean,
trying to have fun.
That's hilarious.
But the best part was, so we were with Courtney. I think we were all roommates at the time. And we go get in line, and we're all getting our mashed potatoes and gravy and shit. And Courtney's grandma is there for like legit dinner.
Oh, no.
And Courtney was like, oh my god, it's my grandma. And there's this awkward moment where it was like, grandma. And her grandma, I don't know if her grandma realized what was going on, but it was mortifying enough that it's in my memory all of these 20 years later, the situation. But yeah, good times.
I've never eaten there, so I know of it, but I've never actually partaken.
I mean, it's like Denny's. It's not gross, but it's definitely not like, it's not the food that we've become accustomed to.
It's not the Golden Corral.
It's not the Golden Corral. It's not the Chuckarama. It's not lobster rolls and champagne, okay?
Lobster rolls.
Okay, we don't eat lobster rolls every day, but sometimes we do, because we're bougie as fuck now.
You can get frozen lobster, and it tastes just as good as fresh lobster.
I would say half of the lobster you get is frozen lobster. If you buy a lobster roll somewhere, shit's all frozen.
I was thinking about just buying... Well, actually, yeah, when you buy a lobster tail, it's probably been frozen anyway. It's like a legit lobster tail that you have to deshell.
Yeah.
It's probably still frozen.
Yep. So anyway. Yeah. I feel like we should do more stuff like that. Just get creative.
And dress up and go to eat. I'm into it.
Just creative ways to entertain ourselves.
Yeah, I think, we've been in a rut lately. I feel like we wake up, we go to work. We come home, we go to sleep. We wake up, go to work.
Yeah, work is taking up a lot of our time.
Right? I'm New Year's resolution. I'm going to be more bougie.
I'm going to win that fucking goddamn lottery. Finally.
Listen, the Powerball, is that tonight or is that tomorrow night?
I actually did have a dream about the Powerball. Just the lottery in general. I had a dream with the winning numbers. So much so that I woke up and wrote them down. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to win.
You didn't win last night. But that was the Powerball. So Mega Millions is next, right?
No, that was Mega Millions.
Oh, okay. So Powerball.
Yeah. I got it in the bag.
I can't wait till you buy us a new home.
I can't either. And I also can't wait for you, listener, to go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a review. 5 stars.
It really helps people find us.
Check out our website. It's FHEBadMormons.com.
We've got merch there, some necklaces, some fill in the blank. I don't know what's on there anymore.
Send us your stories. If you'd like to be featured, we'll read it in an accent if you want. Just send us your funny drunken stories.
Let us know the details of how you like it read. You can become a patron yourself for as little as $3.
It's less than a latte and more fun than church.
You can go to YouTube, like all of it. Subscribe, share.
We're on all the social medias, and we really appreciate all the engagement and feedback we get from you guys, and we love you so much. Thank you for listening.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next week.